She did a great job. They're a great balanced team. Like, you can take away one thing and something else is going to hit you. And we tried to throw everything that we could at them. Obviously, our eyesores keep being our eyesores, and we need to take care of them, which are turnovers and giving up all boards. Can't happen. So until we take care of us, things probably won't change. So we need to get back to that.
Questions for Coach?
Coach, you get down 10 early, and then there early in the second quarter, you chip away, get back to within 2. What was working during that run that allowed you to climb back into the game?
For me, I think sharing the ball. The ball was moving, and I also think just like staying to the game plan, which was just switching it up every time we could, just keep them out of rhythm, out of balance, so they couldn't just come down and do the same thing. But like I said, you take away one thing and they hit you with something else. So it's like pick your poison, and they're a really good team.
I'll be right back. Anything else for Coach?
Perfect.
Duo for you guys tonight. We have Deasia and Una following tonight's win over BYU. We'll take any questions you have for these two.
In that second quarter, where it's just kind of just you guys out on the floor, you guys, the league goes, I think, from like 2 to 12. I guess how much confidence did that build for just all you guys on the bench?
Yeah, I would say we practice together all the time in practice. So I think we had a lot of good chemistry, and none of us were unfamiliar with playing with each other. So I think that went a long way in us just being comfortable and making plays for each other.
And the coaches always talk about being ready when your number is called. How do you stay ready and then to be able to play the way that you did tonight?
I would say just continuing to work hard and remind myself why I play basketball. Like, I love it so much. So that's basically it. And yeah, just staying true to the work, and that's basically it. Yeah.
Deasia, you've seen your role grow for the last couple of weeks. Just talk about, has that allowed you to maybe get into a little bit of a rhythm? You had 9 points out there tonight, a good number of rebounds.
Yeah, I think just, continuing to stay ready. Like Coach Mark says, just keep oh my gosh. Staying ready is like the main focus that I'm on. So just, getting into rhythm and just having my teammates support me.
You've come in tight spots, both at Iowa State and tonight in the close games. How have you stepped up to that moment?
I think my teammates have helped me a lot. They continue to motivate me and just tell me, the things that I'm good at. And I know that I've worked hard over the last few months. So, just being ready when my number is called and just stepping up.
When you come out and hit like a 15, 16 footer right out the gate, what does that do for your confidence?
Yeah, it made me smile a little bit because I've been working on it. I'm working on it more, trying to be more versatile with my game. And when it goes in, it just makes me happy. And I know my confidence goes up.
Una, you had 6 assists tonight. Just talk about what you were seeing out there with your teammates and what you were kind of looking for out there.
I guess I don't really think about anything in particular. I just kind of see what happens. But, yeah, I would say, again, kind of with the first question, it's just from reps and practice all the time. And, paint touches is something that we really value and Coach really values. So I try to stay true to that, and something will open up or I'll have something open. So, yeah.
You guys got out to a 10-point lead there in the first quarter, saw that kind of whittle away early in the second. Campbell calls a timeout, and you guys pull away from there. What was the message from Mark in that timeout to kind of restabilize things?
I think it was mainly just make right plays, and that was basically the message. Yeah.
You guys are down to the home stretch here. What are some things that you're working on that you want to see out of this team as you hit these final 5 games?
I think we just need to continue to work on just playing the game right. I think that's the most important thing, and just when we have these leads, keeping not taking our foot off the gas and just working on each other. It's coming down to March and stuff, so everyone's gonna have to start stepping up, and when we need those players to step up, I think it'll be good for us.
And I would say handling full court presses, that kind of stuff. I think a lot more teams are gonna throw that at us. The last couple games in a row, everyone's done that, so I think we're doing a lot better now at it. So
defensively, you held BYU to 4 points in the fourth quarter. Just talk about how important it is to close out games that way, as well as on offense.
I think Mark MC was just talking more about our defense and just keeping them off the 3-point line. I know Delaney Gibbs, she's a really good 3-point shooter, so just trying to keep her off the 3-point line, not letting her get in rhythm. And I think we did a really good job with her in the second half mostly. But I think just mostly just everybody just stepping up, whoever comes in just stepping up and playing good defense.
Yeah, and also you don't want to give a team a lot of momentum at the end of the game. That's when things can get scary. So That's big that we did that. I didn't even know it was that low.
Yeah.
I know you were here last year and one of the last frogs standing here towards the end of the season. To be in this position, to be a team that's in the top 10 in the net, what does that mean for you, having been a part of this program for a couple of years now?
It's definitely pretty cool. But at the same time, like, I think no one's really surprised. All of us who committed here last year, like, we knew what the program was capable of, and that's why we came. So it's definitely very, very cool, though. So, yeah.
Deasia, for you to be here and to be on this big stage, playing in a power conference and be a part of a team that's having this kind of success, what does that mean to you personally?
It means a lot. We get everyone's best shot each game, so I'm a very competitive player, and so are my teammates. So when we go out there, we're just competing to win, and I like it. I love my teammates, love this team, and I know we can go really far.
For both of you, this team has had a lot of program firsts this season. For both of you, what's kind of stuck out in your mind as maybe a top moment or something that's going to always kind of stick with you?
Top moment.
I think getting the win against NC State, probably, being that was like the first of the ranked wins. I think that was big because our crowd really showed up big, more than I've ever seen. I mean, I've only been here 1 year before this, but just to see that and us get that big of a win at home, that was definitely, like, it felt like, okay, now we're, competing against the top teams.
Yeah, I would say that NC State game too, and just like when we beat Baylor, because we haven't beat them in like 30-something years, so that kind of brought the crowd out more. And these ranked teams, these teams that we've been playing, I think just when we play the right way, it's when it's a good come out, it's good. So.
You guys are both seniors. Coach Campbell said after the last game that he wanted to see a sellout in this arena. What would that mean to you to get a sellout in one of these final 2 games?
Oh gosh, I would love that. Like, honestly, I would really love that. I've never had a sellout crowd out of all the 3 schools that I've been to, so having a sellout will really help us. It'll give us a lot of energy, and I think it can happen.
I would say the same. Like, I also have never been in front of a full sellout crowd before, so that would definitely be a very cool moment.
Yeah.
Speaking of crowds, Jimmy Butler sitting courtside tonight. What did you guys think about that?
I couldn't believe it. As I'm walking, all my teammates were like, "Is that Jimmy?"
I didn't even know he was over there, honestly.
No, yeah, I have so much. I love that guy. He's such a good player. So I don't know him,
She was
but
starstruck. She was starstruck.
I was. That was very cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Hopefully we get some more celebrities out there to come to our game. Sexy Red.
If you're watching this,
come to our game. But that's pretty cool.
All right, we've got to end on that.
Thank you, guys.
Cool. Thank you.
And now we have our head coach, Mark Campbell. We'll let him share his first thoughts on tonight's game and then open the room for some questions.
Oh man, another really good win. Every one of these in the Big 12 is so hard to get, and you value and appreciate each one, especially down the home stretch and in February. Tonight was awesome. It was a full team effort. In the first half, we couldn't get going. I didn't think we were playing good basketball. And that second unit came in, and they were awesome on both sides of the ball. Just really proud of them. They were getting great shots, defending. But they jump-started us, and in the second half, I thought everybody played great. We really got into a rhythm offensively and defensively to hold that team. And they're a very talented offensive team. To 17 points in the second half is what we got to do. And so another one down. It was pretty exciting to break the all-time home winning streak tonight. 17 in a row at the Schollmeyer Special. And again, thankful for the crowd and everybody that continues to come out and support this team.
You mentioned that they're called timeout up 2 with about 8:11 left in the second quarter. It's the most animated I think I've seen you on the sideline this year. What was your message specifically to the team in that moment?
Yeah, it's this time of the year, game 26, where we're playing for high stakes. And at this time of the year, trying to get the team to play the game right shouldn't be one of our issues. We got to be executing and figuring out and making X's and O's adjustments and different things, but we weren't locked in. It looked like we didn't know the scout. We were taking poor shots offensively. The first 3 possessions of the second quarter, 2 minutes in, every shot we took was a bad shot, and so just we weren't locked in. And you haven't had to do that with this group very often. I mean, there's a reason we're 23-3. They've done a phenomenal job, and tonight, to start the game, they didn't do what they were supposed to do on both sides of the ball, and that's why you have a team. I think last game talked about it takes a village to win in February, and different people got to step up. Tonight, it was a whole bunch of them.
Was the plan going into tonight to try to get deeper into that bench, or was that a reaction to how the team started?
No, that absolutely wasn't planning to play the whole team in 2 minutes into the second quarter. But you guys, this team's talented. And it's hard to play 10 kids in major college basketball. But use Una for an example. She's a very seasoned veteran that knows the offense inside and out, knows the defensive scheme, practices against these guys every day. She's ready to hoop. It's just hard to play her. But Deasia's an old veteran, 50-year senior. Aaliyah's been nails for us all year. Donovan's been nails off the bench for us. How about Nat coming in and played great and gave us a good spark? And so these kids, and they play against these guys every day in practice. And so it's not like they're nervous. I mean, these kids are going against Haley, Madison, Sedona, Agnes, Bigby every day. So I'm proud of them, you guys. It's hard to do that, to come off the bench. You never know when your number is going to be called, and they delivered when we needed them tonight.
Talk about Deasia Merrill's growth the last couple of games. Iowa State, she had a big impact, and just she's grown the last couple of games.
Yeah, I want to give our staff a lot of credit. You kind of have the Stay Ready group. And that's taken from the NBA and the WNBA, that you got to stay ready, and you never know when your number is going to be called. And our assistant coaches do a tremendous job keeping these guys in shape, working on their game, getting them extra shots to make sure they're ready, because truly you don't know. And we learned it last year. Your season can change. I mean, like that, and you never know when it's going to happen, and so you got to constantly stay ready. And so these kids deserve the credit, and the coaching staff did a phenomenal job always keeping them ready. And today, Coach Moore had to scout, and this is, I think it's the second game now we've held teams under 50 here, and if you're doing that in February, you're going to win a lot of games.
There are like 7 teams, I think, that can win the Big 12, including you guys. I guess, how do you handle that in essence? One game at a time, or are you letting them know, hey, we're playing for a Big 12 title right now?
No. Great question. It's one at a time. I mean, you shoot yourself in the foot tonight. Not only does it really put you behind the 8 ball for a league title, you guys, we're trying to earn a top 16 seed and host 2 games. You can't drop one of these. And so the margin for error to do what we're trying to do, 0. It isn't. It's this. And so I've preached it all year, and I'll continue. The next game's a Super Bowl. I know we go to Arizona. That's the biggest game of our season. And so you have to have that mindset. And you guys watch college basketball, men and women. There's upsets left and right. And so one thing this group has not done, you haven't had a bad loss. The South Carolina, at Oklahoma State, at Kansas State are those are good teams, really good teams. So we keep approaching it one at a time. We got 5 more of these. We got 5 more, and you got 3 weeks. And so we just got to continue to lock in. And 3 of those 5 are on the road.
You had a 2-point lead with about 6.5 or so minutes in the second quarter. You put in that second unit, just one starter on, and it's an 8-point lead at the half. For you, I know we're taking one game at a time, but as you look ahead to those next games and a big road trip, what does it show you that bench can come in and extend a lead like that?
No question. We trust them, but it's earned. These kids work so hard. We have a team, a roster of phenomenal kids that love the game of basketball. I mean, these guys are why the starters are who they are. These guys compete in practice every day, lace them up and go at these kids. And so it's not like a shock when they come out and play well. I watch it every day. And so it's just to be 23-3, we've grinded through this. And it's just hard. Nobody plays 10 kids. It's just hard to do at the major college level. And so at the same time, I trust them.
You talked about the trip to Arizona on Sunday, Arizona State and Phoenix next week as well. Just what lessons have you learned from the road games so far this year, especially the Oklahoma State and Kansas State games, that you can carry with you into these next couple of road games?
No question. I mean, Tucson, they get a phenomenal crowd. It's going to be a hostile environment, and Iowa State game was nuts. The Kansas State game environment was awesome. The Oklahoma State game environment's awesome. But every one of these, to win on the road, I don't care if there's 50 people in the crowd or 5,000. It's hard to win on the road for many different reasons. You're living out of the hotel, and they're in their comfort zone. And so you draw on all those experiences, and that's why with 5 games left tonight, you guys, you start a game like we did tonight on the road, you buried yourself. You have too big of a hole to come back. And so, you guys, this team hasn't done that hardly ever this season, where you come out of the gates the first 12 minutes and just don't play good basketball. This might actually been the first time that we were that lackadaisical. So all these experiences and this group, you guys, February, the kids are exhausted, you're exhausted, but everybody is, and nobody cares, right? So you got to keep going and keep grinding and finding ways to win. So all these experiences will help when we go to Tucson and Tempe.
You talk about being exhausted at this point. I mean, none of your starters played 30 minutes tonight. That's a big departure from what it's been this season. How much can that little extra rest help you?
Man, that's literally what we talked about as a staff was, just the contribution from the bench allowed us to play everybody and balance those minutes. And the team played right all the way through till the final horn on both sides of the ball. And just preaching to you guys, these games are precious for these kids. They don't get many of these. Your college window that you get to lace up and play this game is a tiny window, and it's gone. You don't get it back. And so just making sure that these guys understand that they value it every time that they get to be on the court, that they leave it all out there. And so tonight, the most minutes were 25. I haven't even looked at the box score. Yeah, 4 kids played 25 minutes. That's awesome.
And
that's awesome.
Too. You've got these players that you mentioned hate coming out of the game and get offended when you sub them, but that starting unit, when they were on the bench, stayed locked in, were super fired up for their teammates. You've talked about how much this team likes each other. Is that kind of exemplified tonight? It
is. They do. We have a special locker room. I think that's our secret sauce. And it's almost impossible to get in the portal era. But they do. They genuinely enjoy each other. They root for each other. You saw it. They were fist pumping and cheering and juiced. And they get excited for each other. Nat hit that dagger 3, and Una hit a big 3, and I just love it. But it's our secret sauce this year is our culture and these kids.
You talked about how long the season gets. It's just there's a lot. How do you keep that energy up going into a road trip that you have coming up in the end of the season here?
Number one, we've had goals that we set since early on in the year, and it's my job to make sure we stay on track and that we don't veer off, and if we do, that we got to get them back going in the right direction again, and that's our staff's job, and really that's my job, and which they've been phenomenal all year. But these kids have had big goals since we started in June, and it's 9 months that they've been going, and so we're not going to slip up now. And I know they're going to bounce back. They did in the second half, but this is a healthy reminder, you guys. The margin for winning, it is so hard to win. It truly is, and they've made it look easy. For most of the season, it's not. right? I mean, they just broke the all-time home winning streak ever in the history of the program. They're doing stuff every week. It feels like they check a box of this has never happened before. And so, again, we celebrated the win because I have a good these are hard things to do that they're doing. I'm enjoying this ride.
To your point, you won by 32 tonight. We're here picking nits a little bit in the postgame. How do you keep that message fresh when they do make it look so easy so often?
Yeah. Again, you've nailed. That's my job. My job is to figure out, and whether that means you need to tug on a heartstring or whether that means you need some accountability. And it's each kid kind of operates different. Aggie went 1 for 10 from 3. Told Aggie you can shoot those same 10 shots again if you get them tonight. Like, that's what she needs to hear. And so each one of these kids, you got to figure out when to push and when to pull back. And that's the journey of a season. The message can't get stale. They can't. And again, you as a coach, you know the pulse and heartbeat of your overall group, and you know who your stallions are, and who needs to make sure they're leading the charge, and if they're not, you got to hold them accountable. And so that's I love that part. I love the human element of that puzzle, and so you guys, it's pretty exciting. Down to 5 games, you're in the hunt for a league title. You're in a hunt for a chance to host. This team's special. Hey, I'm going to keep beating the drum. Fort Worth, we got 2 more games, okay? And West Virginia's coming to town. That's our next one on ESPN, I believe. It's going to be a top 15 showdown. And so that game, we need Fort Worth, our student body. You guys, pack the show. Pack the show. We need all of you guys to come out as we head down the home stretch of our season.
Speaking of crowd, fans, Jimmy Butler sitting courtside tonight. What's it mean to you to have NBA players show up, watch your team play, and kind of cheer on the Frogs?
I mean, how far have we come? I mean, I didn't even know he was coming. Jimmy Butler shows up courtside. I mean, how cool is that? But, like, this team is bringing the crowd and people that want to come watch them hoop. That's why if you have a good product and you play the game right and you play as a team, it's really fun to see who pops in. And so I just think that's another testament to how far this program has come in this short amount of time. You got Jimmy Butler. I think they're playing the Mavs. He's got an off night and he wants to come watch TCU women's basketball play. I mean, that's awesome. And that's women's basketball, you guys. It's been a rocket ship. And so, again, Fort Worth, Jimmy Butler came out. We need you guys to come out too.
There was a point this season where you guys struggled putting teams away in the fourth quarter. Today you won 18-4. What adjustments have you made to get that aspect of your game better?
Well, the halftime speech, they definitely knew they needed to come out and flat out compete and play the game the right way. So that was tonight. And then Texas Tech, they did the same thing. And here's something, when you're good, and I've been on both sides of this thing, when you're one of the programs that's trying to get up and running and when you're one of the elite programs. But where we're at right now, you guys, you get everybody's best shot that first 20 minutes. They are juiced. They are hyped. I mean, they are selling out. They're hitting shots they don't typically hit. They're locked in defensively. But sustaining it for 40 minutes is really hard to do. And the good teams, they just keep coming at you, and they keep coming at you. And this group, we have the ability where we can separate, and we have the scoring ability that we can pop you if you give us that 2 or 3 minute window. And so the second half, our deal, you got to defend and rebound. Offensively, we have enough weapons. We're always putting pressure on you. And the second half, we've defended the last 2 games at a high, and even at Kansas State and Iowa State. I mean, this group in the second half is guarding, and so we do that. We're tough to beat.
Any final questions? All right, thanks everyone.